I'm Molly, and I'm telling my story about my experience with long COVID. I wanted to get involved in Intertwined because I've been doing a lot of research. Actually, my thesis is on the impacts of the quarantine on environmental education. And I've been talking to a lot of educators, and it really seems like the pandemic is over, and that's everyone's opinion, is that we've moved on and it's just part of the past. And I feel like we're over the gist of it, but there's still people who are becoming disabled and getting sick, and I want to call attention to that because it is important. And so I wanted to share my own personal experience in the hopes that maybe other people would potentially realize. I didn't know at first that I had long COVID. I had no idea that all of the problems that were happening to me were because of this one thing. So if anyone else sees this and realizes that, maybe that's something that they or someone they know have, that would be really, really cool. Who here remembers COVID? I'm betting for a lot of you, COVID is a distant memory. Me wearing a mask may even seem like a blast from the past, but unfortunately, COVID isn't over, and I am proof of that. I got my first positive COVID test in February 2023, in the middle of what was supposed to be my senior year. On top of getting a degree, I spent a lot of time working as a lab assistant, class encore leader, and honors college tour guide. I was busy, and I didn't have time to get sick. I needed to keep up with my classwork, my work, and my honors thesis research. However, shortly after I got sick, things started to go terribly wrong. At first, I thought my symptoms were just due to burnout. I've always been proud of my writing skills, but the quality of my coursework decreased exponentially. I also started struggling to connect with the students I tutored. My sense of self stemmed from my ability to produce quality work, and suddenly, that became jeopardized. I blamed myself for being lazy, despite spending more time than before trying to finish all the work I needed to do. And to cope, I extended my thesis by 1 term. By the end of the summer, it was clear I would not be finishing my thesis and earning my degree anytime soon. For about a year, I was stuck in bed because I was overwhelmed with dizziness. Not only did it feel like I was constantly on a boat, but I also had the room spinning around me every time I tried to stand. My brain stopped working. I couldn't remember words I had always known, and I started mixing them up. You know when you're trying to send an F-bomb in a text and your phone keeps autocorrecting it to duck and you're stuck getting more and more frustrated while thinking, that is not what I'm trying to ducking say. Imagine that happening in your brain while you try to articulate yourself. Screens made my head hurt. I could barely focus enough to read. I developed horrible insomnia. I started having nightly panic attacks, convinced I was actively dying. During this time, I started doing my own research. I turned to our lovely local library and checked out every book that even mentioned dysautonomia, which is a category of disorders that can cause dizziness. I could only read for 10 to 30 minutes on a good day before getting too dizzy, so research was hard. One book I expected to be interesting but not super relevant was the Long COVID Survival Guide, which includes chapters from several COVID long haulers. I found myself reading chapter after chapter, identifying with every author as they shared their experiences. While the book only documents a handful of symptoms, I identified all of my major symptoms in different chapters. Problems I didn't even realize were connected were suddenly explained. My insomnia, my dizziness, my brain fog. I realized, oh, what? This is me? Suddenly, in this crossroads moment, I no longer viewed myself as a failure. My decreased work capabilities weren't my fault. I might even be able to find medical solutions to my problems. However, finding a decent doctor proved to be near impossible because most doctors in Eugene had no experience with long COVID. My first doctor gave me repeat tests and wrote off my symptoms as mental health problems, despite my psychiatrist's advocacy otherwise. Eventually, 2 full years after I first started experiencing symptoms, I found a doctor who is amazing. She diagnosed me after looking at the tests I'd already had, and she's been incredible at helping me get the accommodations I need to finally finish my degree. One of those accommodations is that I sit during presentations like I'm doing right now, so I don't pass out. The most life-changing thing I've experienced on this healing journey was my first physical therapy appointment. I learned that what I thought of as just being dizzy is actually caused by 2 different conditions, one of which is possible to fix after just 1 treatment. All a professional had to do was have me slowly roll around a table with my head in their hands until the crystals in my ear canal settled. The next day, I was able to get out of bed and move around entirely by myself with much more ease than I'd experienced in 2 years. Since I first got sick, I've had to completely shift the way I think about my life. I place less worth on my productivity. I'm better at standing up for myself since I've had to fight to be heard by medical professionals. I'm more confident doing things for myself, even if they get extra attention in public, like wearing a mask or walking with a cane. Throughout this process, I've learned a lot about myself, and I have gotten stronger. If you think you or someone you know may have long COVID, I want you to know life isn't over, and I am proof of that. After 5 years, medical practices have finally started to figure out how to treat different long COVID symptoms. Honestly, getting sick has been incredibly isolating since it feels like everyone else has moved on from the pandemic. I've been growing my online community, but would love to meet people in person. So feel free to reach out if you have long COVID or are interested in learning more. COVID long haulers exist, and we are a part of your community, whether you know it or not. Thank you.